this is Hustler 3, I guess. Well, I don't guess. I don't know if anybody takes time. You'd think something that important, whether you care about me being kidnapped and who I am and what's been done to me and my family and to the British and Germans. And hey, like one of the FBI agents said to me, he yawned back in '82 and said, "You know what you're telling bores them." And he said it's only when they find out how it affects them that they'll care. You can take planes down. I told it all, the KAL, Korean jetliner with Larry McDonald, the Dr. Congressman I wrote about, and then the plane carrying him 3 years later goes down, and out in the ocean, dumps them all out in the ocean, and it was en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. The Soviet Union shot it down because it veered into their airspace, which is this one that's going on now. I don't know what happens to it. I know it's done in patterns. The Malaysian, all right? There's been a whole slew of them, and believe me, the media has been told. I've gone in there dragging in and using money I didn't have and faxing, and them they wouldn't even tell it. I had a phone call after I managed to put together and get a cell phone years ago. I took some stuff, my own money when I was able to get it. I took it to Atlanta over and over. I took it to CNN. I took it to the media there, which I had done when I was doing the book back in '77. I was telling about mind control murders in the book, the Atlanta Journal. I did have one or two call me back en route back up here. I had to wait to get up here because it wouldn't come in on the bus I was on, the cell phone voicemail wouldn't. And they told me, lady, it goes to the, I think they said producer, who really says what's going to be on the news. So you stop and think about it, it's not that hard, even though the Rockefellers are the ones that controls it all now, and Rothschilds, to control the media, especially when they don't want to tell about me. So now they're all over there covering the plane, and I'm here, can hardly live from being gassed. And let me get to this. I told about Denise that worked for the doctor while I was doing the book, and he's the one, well, it was a group of doctors. He's the one that put the chip in the heart bypass. He was cardiovascular and internist. And you can control people's thought process and all that. That's back when they were putting chips in root canals, and nowadays it's so sophisticated you don't need any of that. But I want to go back and how they compromise people and get them to do things against me and my sons. And I don't even know where Mark and Scott are. I haven't for a long time. But they get things on their kids if they've done drugs or selling them, or a whole bunch of stuff, or on the people, and the people, I've been told, after somebody soaked me and I was throwing up and passing out, deliberately come out and off Mountain Pass Road and soaked my tent while I walked away and came back. And I went out and screaming and falling down and throwing up, and he said to me, and me as sick as I was, he said, I would help you, but you know what they would do if I helped you? They would shut down my bank account. So this has just been ongoing. Now then, they used my illness. This is law enforcement getting them to do it. FBI was the ones I went to. What do you think? You think that's a joke, the profilers off of Criminal Minds? And I'm not going to say I am the one who has gone on the side of the road, walking, begging, had everything in the book done to me, while other people would say, hey, I want to go on with my life. I don't care about you. So, anyway, I don't know. I'll lose it, and I'll do up another tape, and it won't get on. I'm allergic to chemicals, industrial. I should be able to live a normal life, but instead I've been force-fed chemicals where I live, and if you can't get away from it, if it's your apartment where you're being flooded with chemicals, and the maintenance has gotten in on it, and the management, and you can't go to law, and you can't get an attorney. I finally got one last week. And I'm sure there'd be some other tell if you ask him without putting him under oath. He took it a few years ago and Xeroxed it. Then he left town, or at least I was told he left town, and I never heard from him again, and they won't touch it. That's legal aid. But I'm going to use this Edinburgh Square. That was when I found out, when I got a little money, that Section 8, I could use Section 8 federally funded. Now, this is the feds. Well, the federal government's funding it. So you get into the laws governing that, other than this being a conspiracy to assault. And over the years, it's killed me. But it's the ultimate, like Murder, She Wrote, or Diagnosis Murder. Man, they have gotten in. How would you go back and get all these people, and they wouldn't get anything but a slap on the wrist? Like somebody I know, I thought was a friend, Terry, said, well, it's been done. It's been done, so here's Edinburgh, where I was taken. By the way, he was in on all this, and the marshal, Robert, that I still have his phone number and everything. But I'm sure this stuff has been taped, and it's been in the newspaper, some of it here. So it would be easy for anybody to go and find. Now then, let me get to this. Edinburgh, of course, is associated with Edinburgh Castle, the monarch. Here, this is back in '06, I believe, April of '06. I got in there. I had a backpack, and that was it. I got in there, and it's shocking. I can't get into all that went on and who did it and all that. But everybody, management and everybody knew it. Maintenance. And by the way, I will say this, the maintenance guy lived right across the part of Mountain Pass Road, the new trail, Appalachian Trail, that I went up in the winter in hot sun with no food. He's the one that had this beautiful, beautiful cabin-type house that stood up on a mound with all kinds of property around it. And by the way, the property now must be worth a bloody fortune. You should see the homes that have gone in around it. So now he's here in '06, very well knowing what's happened to me, and he's soaking me in chemicals, and I'm force-fed them. So I'm getting to where I can't walk then. It's attacking my veins, my legs, my joints, heart, you name it, liver. So over the years, I went to Joseph's Dream in Atlanta, excuse me. Trying to get this on this tape before it goes out. This is Melinda's Melody. It's a mower housing in Christiansburg. Now, the one that I lived in was in Joseph's Dream, and it was in Bedford. Yeah, I'm not even going to go in what Brenda Ellis. All you have to do is get these people that are over management and the maintenance people up in a court, and you would see it, whether they admitted to it under oath or not. This is Richfield. Now, I've had to go back to these a second time because I've been made where I can't get a place, and I can't get around now. I'm just about dead. And they will say, well, suddenly they're doing a background check on me, which you wouldn't get any of the truth there, and that I can't live there, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, now this one, Edinburgh, which was the first one in '06, and let me remind you, they've done it at corporate suites wherever I go. I'm force-fed chemicals. They've pre-done it most of the time. One of the, or more than one, when I had my hair pulled out and my leg bashed in trying to find a job, and I went to the cops, and they told me that the FBI come in at least 3 months ahead. I understand it's a lot more than that now, and they set it up, and if the police try to help me, that they'll find something on them, and they will prosecute. Well, you know, there's the other side of it. I've been through hell. They've done all of it to me, and I don't know. If the FBI or the British aren't able to bring it up in court, and the British are hostages themselves, I don't know if it'll ever be told. But anyway, that's it. But I wanted this part of it. I wanted to Edinburgh. I went back there, and this is the response. Edinburgh is the first one that I lived in, and they soaked me. I just got through saying that, and I'm trying to hurry because this is going on. I'm going to have to do the fourth tape. And if anybody, they're not going to care unless the controlled media tells it.